Yo, what's going on, everybody on YouTube? Welcome to the Apocalyptic Service Announcement, aka ASL. ASA. Already messing up my damn shit. This is Apocalypse. Today I got the homie DemonkillerScorp. What's up, man?
What up, bro? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How you been?
Doing good, doing good. What up to all the fans? Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you hit that sub button.
Yeah, man. Subscribe, yo. Leave a like.
Alright, so do you want to ask some questions, or like how do you, I don't know how you want to do this because this is your show.
Alright, so I'm gonna ask some questions. Like I told you earlier when when you DM'd me first, like there's no filters, there's no off limits, so like anything goes. Like anything you say and how you say it, I'm not gonna be bothered by it. And feel free to voice how you want to voice, because everybody's free to say how they want to say things.
Hence the freedom of speech. I appreciate that.
Definitely, no doubt. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna ask, so what's it like when, like, because I know you moved to North Carolina, I think it is, right?
Yeah. I recently moved, and it's because of that I haven't been able to be on YouTube because the move has caused a lot of troubling roadblocks that are preventing me from coming back. So, but other than that, it's a peaceful life.
That's
it's a lot more
good.
quiet. I don't have to deal with a lot of people's bullshit no more.
Yeah, that's good. You know, it's always good to be around peaceful environment.
Yeah. I mean, and plus, it kind of does fit for me, too, because it is in the Bible Belt. And, you know, I am a born-again Christian, as you know. So, for me, it kind of fits for me. It's the best place. You know what I mean? In California, there were churches, but they weren't really holding up to the word. So, it works out perfectly for me here.
No doubt. All right, so
Yeah.
I know you're working on I think you're still working on New Life. How's that coming along, the project that you're working on?
Oh, bro, like I said in my update vlog on my channel, that project is pretty much complete. I'm just waiting on some people to send back their verses. One of them is shout out to T-Dizzle Films. He's he's a Savage Clan member, but he's going to be on the track with us, with you and me. You know that one track that I sent you? I don't want to reveal it, but he's going to be that middle verse. So I'm waiting on him to send me that verse. Yeah, bro. So that track's going to kill it. But other than that, bro, like all the tracks I pretty much completed already. Actually, I was completing them right before I moved. So I was besides me packing up my shit and moving, I was recording and putting all the tracks together before I moved. So they're pretty much already ready. One of the problems that I've ran into that I said on my update blog is my internet connectivity. It's not as strong as what I had in LA. So I got to find a way around that in order to upload the full album, you know, once I get those verses back.
Ah, got you.
It's not like I'm purposely trying to postpone it. I wanted to drop it as soon as I got here, but it's just, you know, people's schedules, you know, they haven't been able to send me their verses, plus, you know, the small road bump problems that I ran into out here is preventing me from dropping it, so.
True. Plus, I know, shout out to T-Dizzle, by the way, like you said. I know, plus, like, some are on some, like, back-to-school things, too. Like, I know some people got school.
Yeah, right. This is why I said, you know, some people's schedules are not really lining up. You know, not due to their fault. It's just that, you know, they're dealing with things like school and work and stuff. So that's why.
But it'll all come together. I'm excited to hear the project.
Yeah, definitely, man. I mean, honestly, New Life is just basically going to be me moving away from all the drama. And just trying to become a better YouTuber, more positive, and I just want to, you know, influence people to, you know, be a light, you know, and just be a good inspiration. So that's basically what New Life is, what you can expect.
I like that. You know, evolution.
Yeah, definitely, fam.
And it's always good to see when somebody goes through adaptation and evolution, not just on self, but as a way of others to follow a footnote and go through evolution as well. Because I know with some things that I work on, like some projects and some singles that I be releasing, like I be on the same wave as well. Like the way I do it though, like I put it in a like poetic way, so when people hear it, they'll hear like more than just lyrics. They'll like actually see within the lines like
You know
that.
what I really? Sorry, go ahead.
Like they'll actually see within they actually see within the lines of like what I'm actually saying.
Yeah, I feel you. Like honestly, um, you know, as I do more kind of like Christian raps and stuff, it's not just that I just want to praise God, it's that I want people to understand where my soul is, you know what I mean? And where I am mentally. Like, I want to try to, like, relate and connect to people. So, in that sense, I feel what you're saying, you know what I mean?
Definitely, definitely. Now, speaking of drama, I'm
Yeah, we
still
got to definitely address tonight.
yeah. That's another reason I'm glad I got you here, cuz like I didn't want to just interview Crazy Gamer aka Nerd without interviewing you as well, because then it kind of look unfair, like, you know, this person's getting to say what he has to say and I'm not even letting him.
Honestly, I didn't think we were going to do that. If anything, I actually thank you for doing that interview. So I want to say publicly to you, thank you for doing that, because you took that initiative. I was able to listen to the interview and get some of the misunderstandings and, you know, try to clarify some of the things that were said about
Definitely.
me, or like my image, or how I was trying to approach him. So I want to thank you for taking that initiative and interviewing and uploading that.
No doubt, man. I'm loving interviews so far. Like that was the first time I got to interview. I want to do more interviews.
All right, for sure, bro. I actually wanted to ask you, like, I don't know if Reactor Radio is ever going to make a return, but if it do, if you would want to be a guest, I'm assuming that you would love to be a guest on that.
I'd be honored to be a guest, to be honest, because I love interviews where I can either be the one interviewed or I can interview others. Like anything that has to do with asking me questions, either about myself or anything generally as far as topics, I'd be down to answer questions.
All right, cool. I mean, me and Anthony Knight are still, like, we still talk every now and again on Facebook, so I'll message him and see if he's down to make a comeback on Reactor Radio and see if we can get you interviewed, bro.
All right, cool.
Yeah. All right, so I think we should move on to the interview, because I'm assuming that you want to ask me questions regarding that, right?
Yeah, the first thing about that I'm going to ask is your insight on the RIP Demon video.
I really don't know what to think of it, like, because here's the thing. The last time I voiced my opinion, it was taken as I was talking shit. And the thing is I don't want to say something that is going to be twisted around and make it seem like I'm talking trash. But I have a question for you is,
Okay.
how do you express that you really don't feel someone's music, you know, and express how you really feel about that without it coming out as talking shit?
Well, for me, if I was the one to say, like, if I didn't feel somebody's, like, song or, like, music without making it sound like I was talking shit, like, I'd be upfront and let them know, like, I don't get, you know, certain vibes of it. Like, if I'm trying to figure out, okay, if I'm trying to figure out how somebody did their production, I'm going to, like, see what made them come up with the project. And also I'm going to see if, like, this person's gonna react a certain way. Like, are they gonna be diplomatic, aggressive, or defensive with their answer? Like, if they're aggressive with their answer when you give an honest opinion on a song after they ask what you think, you can tell that they don't like hearing that they could do better or give constructive criticism to them. If they are on a humble way of like saying, yeah, I could do better, or I know I could do much better, or they're saying thank you, then, it's like they take the advice, they take the pros and the cons of it, and they keep it moving. As far as now, specifically Crazy Gamer, aka Nerd. Now, mind you, to everybody that's listening, this is coming from me. This is not me putting words into DKS's mouth. This is not DKS whispering anything for me to say. When I listen to Crazy Gamer, aka Nerd, I used to mentor and try to tell him, he should do this or switch it up this way and try it that way, just to see if it changes or like pitches something a little bit better. But like when I listen, it's like he's off beat and he just like repeats himself a lot of times, or he like misleads his own flow. And this is not me trying to talk shit. This is just me from a producer's chair, like seeing different pros and cons. Like I'm seeing a lot of like flaws where he could do. Huh?
Sorry, go ahead. Well, no, I was gonna say I'm glad you said that, because before I messaged you, and I'm gonna get into our messages between me and him and me and you. But the thing is the reason I'm glad you said that is because that was my first initial response to him dissing the Sabs clan. Like when I heard that track, that was the response that I was. It's not like I just came out and said, "Oh, you're trash" right off the bat. It wasn't like that.
Right.
It was. I was telling my Savage members, I don't really feel his track. I don't feel like it was a threat towards us or towards me. I don't think you guys should give it any. You shouldn't give any fear from this record, because I don't feel like he's even on beat, to be honest. So it wasn't that I was just flat out saying he sucks. It was I was telling my Savage clan members in the High Council chat that I wasn't feeling his raps. But the thing is that when I messaged you and I told you I felt that he was trash, maybe I shouldn't have used that exact wording. Maybe I should have said it differently, but that was the spirit that I was coming with. It wasn't that I was trying to talk trash. It was me trying to tell you my honest opinion about his music or about that specific track. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't have said that he was trash, but and I acknowledge that there have been a lot of mistakes that I've made in the Reactorverse and that I still make. But I'm human, fam. Like I'm gonna say things the wrong way. I'm gonna make mistakes, but I always take responsibility for that. So I want to say to Crazy right now, I'm sorry that I called it trash. But that wasn't. I wasn't trying to talk shit. I was just trying to say that I wasn't feeling that specific rap. That's what I was trying to say. But I guess when it went public, he took it the wrong way. You know what I mean? Like he kind of assumed that I was just talking shit about him. But I want to make it clear though is, after I didn't even know he existed before the hiatus video.
Mm-hmm.
So, my question to you, I have a question for you, like realistically speaking, why would I, who doesn't even know about him, why would I just come out the woodwork and just try to start a beef with him or try to talk shit about him?
That's a good question. And before we get to the other question, I do want to clarify something really quick. Like when because I know he pulled screenshots on his phone when I was interviewing him about it. He took it as though,
right here.
Yeah, he took it as though you were talking shit. I didn't take it that way. I looked at it like he's saying, like, what DKS is basically saying, guys, is like he's not trying to say he's above everybody. He's not saying he's the higher up on Crazy Gamer, aka Nerd. He was basically asking why would he, where he's at right now, like succeeding in his career, succeeding in his life, why would he like want to all of a sudden just like pick wars with somebody he didn't know was on YouTube, basically. Where
Exactly, Sam. Like that's what I was trying to tell him. Like when I told him, why is an upcoming YouTuber like yourself trying to go at someone established? When I say established, I wasn't trying to talk down to him. What I was trying to get him to see was that throughout my YouTube life, I want to say, I guess, or career. I wouldn't exactly call it a career because it's not really that that big yet. But throughout my YouTube life, I have done things in the reactor community that a lot of other reactors have not done. You know, like the reactors, the first reactors music video, official one, the first Reactor's full mixtape, the first one to be one of the Reactor Radio hosts. You know, there are things that I've done in the community that are accomplishments, and like you said before in your stream earlier, I have established myself.
right.
You know what I mean, within the community. So when I was trying to say established, that's what I was trying to say. It was like, you know, why are you trying to come at me? You know, someone who's established when you're like, you know, you're still upcoming. Like, I wasn't trying to talk down to him. I was trying to find out how a smaller channel automatically out the woodwork has beef with a bigger channel. That's what I was trying to see.
It's more so curiosity, like why or how everything just basically started. Because I asked him when I first brought up the issue, I asked him what made this issue. And I was asking him because it seemed like he was bouncing wall to wall with the answer. But I was asking him, I was like, huh?
I think there's a more deeper reason. I don't want to say that this is a fact, but I have a theory on how this all really, really started.
Okay.
And I don't think that it all started with him and the Sabs. I think it started before that. I think because, you know, when I first found out about him, like, and you showed me his Twitter, I went to his Twitter account, and one of the first things that I noticed in the Twitter description box was that he was a KDJP fan. Now, I want to make it clear, I'm not trying to throw shade or talk trash about KDJP, but a lot of fans know that at one point on GTA, there was this battle between Stabs and Lees that was in the Reactorverse. It was a reactor civil war, I guess, or a battle, whatever. It was just a gaming battle. That's all it was. But the thing is him being one of their fans, I'm assuming, I don't know for sure is, so I don't want to make it seem like that I'm just making this up. I'm just thinking that this is what started it. I think when he saw that, when he saw all that went down, he probably sided with them automatically because he must have been a big, and obviously he's a big fan of Dante. Obviously, he said that in the interview you did with him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously that right there tells you that he's a fan of theirs. So when that happened, I think a lot of fans were taking sides at that time. And I think he was one of the fans that might have taken their side right off the bat simply because he's a fan of theirs. And if you listen to the messages between me and him on Twitter, one of the things that he says is, one of the things he keeps repeating is that he never trusted us, or that he never trusted me.
He said that?
So, in the Savs clan diss track, like, not the diss track toward me, but the one he did toward my clan. He said that he never really trusted us.
Oh, the
So,
Walking Dead track. I know what you're talking about.
yeah, so when he says that, you see, the fans, you guys got to pay close attention to what people are actually saying in their not only their quote unquote expose messages, but also their lyrics. You got to pay close attention because sometimes they expose themselves, and I feel like that's what Crazy Gamer is doing. He's exposing himself as a KDJP fan, which is also a Elite Clan fan. So, because we had that one clan battle, by the way, it was just one, and we moved on from that, by the way. The Savs, we don't have war with the Elite Clan anymore. We don't. We moved way on past that. Like, it's not even an issue. But the only reason it might be an issue is because of situations like this where Crazy Gamer might have a vendetta because of that moment.
Never know.
That's what. Huh?
I say you never know.
Yeah, and I feel like maybe that's why I don't know for sure, but maybe that's where it all started. Maybe Crazy saw that we were on the rise, and he maybe didn't like how we were on the rise. But just so we're clear, the Savs Elite Clan War, we didn't start that. I know a lot of people might have believed we started that. We didn't start that. The Savs Clan didn't start by a war with them. We started with several original members. Me, Billy Lawrence, Anthony Knight, Shay, the one and only J-Rock, and Rashad. We all were a YouTube circle at one point, and we were all, which is why the music video was called Reactor Family, because we were all a family at one point. And one of the things that we decided to do was create a gaming clan that we were all a part of, and that's where the Savs originated. So I want to make it clear, the Savs didn't originate by starting a war with the Elite Clan. We originated way before that.
That's a good thing to know.
Huh?
I said that's a good thing to know for those people who were wondering how did y'all come up with the name and how did y'all come apart with being together as a clique.
Well, I want to make it clear that see, the thing is because of those several original members, back at that time, we wanted to be a clan that. The thing is a lot of us were influenced by KDJP and the Elite Clan. In fact, a lot of people may not know this about me, but I used to be a Elite Clan member. I don't know, a lot of people may not know that, but I used to be a member of the Elite Clan. So it's not like I just woke up one morning and decided, you know what, I think I should start a war with them. No, it didn't work out that way. I was once a member of their clan, and I was influenced by them. They were my idols at one point. So, and I took a lot of notes from their videos, and I took a lot of notes, and which influenced me to do a lot of the things that I did, you know? So, and I've been blessed to collaborate with some of them. You know, people like PG and Dante and Rashad and them, and, you know, and befriend them. So, it's not like I don't know. A lot of people just think that we wanted to start a war, but we didn't. When we came together and created the Elite Clan, the Savs Clan, we figured, you know what, we want our name to really stand out. We want our name to be kind of rebellious, and not rebellious in the way where we're just rebels and we just do whatever the hell we want, but we wanted it to be rebellious in the sense that we're different, revolutionary, and that we bring a different movement. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So one of the things that we all agreed on, all the original members were, and by the way, all these original members were YouTubers. I'm sure a lot of people know these reactors, but when we first started it, we decided that this clan is going to be different in the sense that it's not going to have just one leader. You know what I mean? It's going to have a group of leaders that make decisions by votes. or by a voting council, which is where the High Council came into play.
That's how every team should be. Like, that's how every group should be, to be honest. Because I look at different groups, like both on and off YouTube, and I'm just like, get that one leader shit out of here. Like, it should be leadership for everybody.
Yeah, like we didn't want our, like, a lot of people are calling me the leader of the Savs clan, and it's probably because I'm the one keeping it alive still to this day. But in all honesty, I'm not the one leader. Like, still to this day, the High Council can outvote me on decisions at any time.
Right.
Like, in fact, I've already been outvoted on several decisions already. Like, there have been times when on certain issues I may have voted yes or no, and the majority vote was against me. So it's not like I make all the decisions like a dictator. So it's not like that. I want the fans to really get a clear picture that just because I'm keeping the Savs clan alive doesn't mean that I make all the ultimate decisions. You know what I mean? Like, I can... My way doesn't always go.
Right.
So that's how the Savs clan started. Now, due to a lot of the mistakes that I've made in the Reactorverse that I've already taken responsibility and moved on for, but back then when I was making a lot of mistakes with friends and you know, I want to say accidentally burning bridges because it wasn't something I did intentionally. But when I was accidentally burning these bridges, some of these members decided to leave the Savs clan. I didn't kick them out. They decided to leave. So then they're more than welcome to come back anytime they want. You know what I mean? Like, if they want to talk things out and then reconcile, you know, by all means. So, but a few members have left, but a few have stayed, and that's why we continue to thrive, is because we still have some friendships, even though some may not see eye to eye to us, you know?
Right. Which kind of relates back.
Started, bro.
Definitely. Which relates back to what I was asking Nerd, well, CG, aka Nerd. I was asking him, because I was like, when did all this start? He said probably like a long time. So I was like, so how the freak did all of a sudden out of nowhere this song pops up? Like, I was asking him I kept asking what made him make the track. Like, what made him...
You know what I don't get is that before he dropped this track, I thought the issue was dead. That's the thing, because I messaged him and I was assuming, okay, well, maybe he saw that I was trying to message him like a man and, you know, talk things out. And maybe he just dropped it. You know what I mean? That's why I didn't say anything publicly, because I was assuming that he was just going to drop it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But then he releases this track, and it shows me even more that it just feels like he just wants attention, and he just wants me to and like he said in the interview, he wants me to get mad. But the thing is I don't understand how I can get mad at this. I don't understand how this situation will really piss me off to the point where I'm gonna, like, fucking attack you. Like, to be honest, I think this is a ridiculous circus spectacle. That's how I look at it. Like, this is not really something that I consider a threat. This is not really something that I consider, you know, to be a problem. I just think that he might have misread my approach and might have misread my character. And because of his love for some of his favorite YouTube channels and his belief that we started in a negative way, he might not like us, you know, and maybe that's why I mean, like you said, you know, honestly, in my opinion, is like through his music and through the interview that he did with you, I think a lot of the things that he said exposed himself. You know what I mean? Because he wasn't really answering your question, and I think the reason why he wasn't is because he knows that the real reason he hates me or hates the Savs clan is because we are something different other than the Lee clan. And I think he doesn't like that.
I have a theory. Cause
that's a theory, yeah. Like it's not a scientific fact. That's just what I think.
Yeah, because I'm looking, because you're right. The questions wasn't directly answered. And he kept saying that he was playing chess with you. But I'm looking back at the interview, and I'm looking at the comments, too. It's like, he would know.
I didn't look at the comments yet, to be honest. I mean, I didn't even listen to the whole interview. I listened to most of it, and I figured, okay, well, I think I heard enough.
Right.
He said I heard him say he's playing chess with me, but my question is, like, doesn't a chess game require two players?
It does.
That's what. Okay, so if one player is sitting down playing chess and the other is asking him, "What are you doing?" Is that really a chess game?
No, not really.
No, that's my point. Like, this is why I don't feel like this is a chess game, so to say. I just feel like he's trying to get me to play his game, and I don't want to. What I really want is for him to just tell the truth on why he really has a problem with me. That's what I want.
Because I talked to him on the phone. He says he did it just because he wants to start war. And my thing on it was like, because I'm looking, and he also mentioned, I think, like, you could preach on Twitter and stuff like that. And he told me specifically he couldn't access his Twitter because something's wrong with his Twitter account. But you would know that Demon is like saying different things on Twitter. And I just want to clarify, there's a difference between somebody like preaching on a social media and somebody sharing their thoughts and how they feel towards like different things.
Yeah, and there's another thing too. Like, hold on a second. Like, I've already publicly came out as a born again Christian. So, am I not allowed to share my faith with the world?
Of course.
Something that I'm passionate about. You know what I mean? This is something that is like seriously that is number one in my soul right now. Like, that's my ultimate passion, is the gospel. So, is he really coming at me because of my faith? Because if he is, like, that's ridiculous.
I think he's just mentioning these different things just to say them.
And the thing is, if you're coming at me for my faith, then you need to come at every other YouTuber for their faith, too. You know what I mean? Because I'm not the only YouTuber on Twitter that's sharing Bible verses and quoting scripture and sharing the gospel. I'm not the only one. You know what I mean? So, like, you can't come at me for that. Like, that's ridiculous. But, yeah, so what else did he say when you were messaging him, though? Was there something else other than the preaching?
Like, he was saying how, like, there's so many, like, dick riding salves and stuff. I didn't even want to, like, say anything to him about, oh, how's it going with y'all? Like, are y'all talking it out, or is y'all still beefing? And he brings this up to me, and I'm just like,
well, can I expose some hypocrisy here?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm calling the Sav fans dick riders, because there's a contradiction coming from him, and it's hypocritical. You can't look, if my theory is true, that he's doing this because of his fanship for Dante and the Lee clan, if my theory is true, then you can't turn around and say the Sav fans are dick riders. You can't do that, because you're doing the same thing with your favorite YouTuber. You know what I mean? So every fan base is gonna have, you know, I wouldn't say dick riding, but I will say loyalty for their favorite YouTuber. Every fan base is gonna do that.
Everyone.
You know, like, for example, if I have my fans, you have yours, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know this will never happen, but let's say our friendship dies and we go at each other's throats or whatever. Let's be real here. Some demon killers, some of my fans are going to go to your channel and talk trash, and some of your fans are going to come to my channel and talk trash.
Exactly. And no. This brings me back to also when we both had like the misunderstanding. Like there were some people out of nowhere. And I've mentioned this before in my live stream. They was out of nowhere saying F him, this and that or whatever, or you bodied him. And I was telling people a long time ago before that ever happened, listen, don't be yes men to me or nothing. Don't do it because of me. Like, if you feel like this is wrong, tell me. Don't be on my side all the way just because, like, it's me doing this. You know, like, if you feel like you don't agree with it or you feel like I'm out of my mind or I'm wilding, I need to cool down, tell me that. Don't go to someone else's channel thinking that's just going to make me feel better because that's not really proving anything.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you can't always take, I'm sorry, but this has been proven over and over again. You can't take the fans' word as gospel. You know what I mean? Because they might be wanting to stir shit up between two individuals where the situation doesn't exist.
Yeah, like kind of create a rivalry story or something.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Now, to clarify, though, I just want to make it clear, though, like, I did not come toward Crazy Gamer talking shit, saying that I was going to start this beef. Like, he's painting that picture of me, and that's not the case. In fact, I tried to message him privately to avoid this becoming public, because I was going to try to work things out with him before he did what he did. But he went about this publicly all on his own. Notice that this is the first time I'm going on an interview about him. Notice this is the first time I'm going publicly at all about him. That tells you right then and there that DKS didn't start this shit.
It's not like you want. It's not like you even wanted to get to this point either.
I never wanted this. Like, I'm trying to. Look, bro, I can't even come back to YouTube right now, even if I wanted to. So why the hell would I want to start a beef that I can't finish?
I could tell you how it happened. Because me and him. All right, so when me and him were on the phone, because usually me and him, every once in a while, we talk, we chill. I do that with a lot of other people, even my friend Nappy Boy Trillion. But me and him were on the phone. Out of nowhere, he plays Godlike. So I'm asking him, what made you play that? And he starts saying shit on, like, you and the Savs, how, like, y'all seem, like, bitter or petty because, like, that Walking Dead shit that he did, and he said that he was going to make a second track, which I guess was R.I.P. Demon, as his little, like, bounce back or comeback from Walking Dead, like, make a better track, like a real track. And then he also played My 19 Forever. Now, note to everybody who goes back to that, it was a misunderstanding between me and DKS.
Oh, yeah. I remember that, yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it's deaded now. We said what we said. We deaded the misunderstanding. We're cool. All right. It's not if I wasn't cool with him, I would not be like wanting to interview. Yeah. Like, so he says, I'm gonna make a track now. Like, I'm gonna do he's gonna do a reaction. And I was like, all right, because he already heard the track. And then he said he was gonna do a fake reaction because he wanted to. Just because. So that's when I think he stopped it at the one bar.
Fake reaction, yes?
Yeah, he even confirmed it on the interview.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, he stopped it at 1 or 2 lines.
No, it was 1 line. No, it was 1 bar. It wasn't 2. He didn't even let it get that far. It was 1 bar and he paused it.
Because, like, yeah, because he was like, people think if you be godlike, you have to rap fast or whatever. And first of all, for everybody that loves music or does music, rapping fast doesn't mean you think you're on a god level or you're a god or something. Like, don't get it fucked up. That doesn't mean nothing at all. I don't know why people think that when we rap fast, that's what we assume.
The title. I think I need to clarify the title. Notice that I didn't title it God or rap God or lyrical God or anything. I said God-like.
Right.
The reason I say God-like has nothing to do with my lyrical skill. A lot of people think that I titled that God-like because I'm trying to be a lyrical God. No, I titled that God-like because from the inside I am God-like. Because of my faith.
And you have a right to feel that way. That's what I was saying. Like, when we, because I'm one of those people that does that too on my songs. When we say things like God-like or God level or anything related to that, we're not trying to compare our lyricism or any of our abilities to a demigod or almighty or anything. We're coming from the passion. We're coming from the spirit, and we're talking from the inside.
Because I don't remember exactly where in the Bible it is, but there is a Bible verse that says that we do have power bestowed on us from God, which makes us God-like creatures. You know what I mean? Because we were made in his image.
Exactly.
So that's what I was trying. That's why I titled it God-like. Not that I was a lyrical God, but that I was God-like in the sense that I was made in his image. So I just wanted to clarify that. Just want to clarify why I titled that, because I feel like Crazy is probably thinking that I'm assuming I'm a lyrical God. That's not up for me to decide, fam. That's up for the fans to decide. You know, I'm just saying I'm godlike because of who I follow. That's why.
Right. And by the way, guys, he doesn't always, like, DemonkillerScorp doesn't always do songs. So we can't really, you know, like, he's not the type to always, like, if he wants to, yeah, he could, but he doesn't always do music.
Yeah, like, for me, like, don't get me wrong, I have a huge passion for writing songs and being creative and making music, but for me, I don't like to rush my projects. What I like to call Dr. Dre them, and what I mean by that is, if you take a look at Dr. Dre, every single time he makes an album, what he does is he takes his sweet time and he makes sure that everything is perfect, or as perfect as it can possibly be, before he can shop it. And that's what I do with my music. I don't just come out with music on a constant basis. It's not that I can't, it's that I want to make sure everything is perfect with my tracks before I do.
Pharrell Williams does the same thing. He takes his time and makes sure everything's on point. Because if you don't take your time with music, like I discussed with you in the DM earlier too, music is a powerful tool, and the right or wrong hands could use it in any way possible. Like, you have to take time with music, because with music, it's something that, like, it alternates people's thoughts and feelings based on what mood they're in, like, or it transitions their moods. Like, for example, okay, if you're listening to sad songs and you're sad or you're not sad yet, it'll probably make you feel sad, not because you want to feel sad, but because you're feeling the energy from the music. Like, it's the vibe. Like, music needs, like, precise timing. It's not like you can just write something and then just put it out, like, right out the back, like, oh, this is gonna come out like this or this gonna come out like that. If you rush it, it's not gonna do good. It's not gonna do good.
Yeah, I mean, you could rush it and put it out, but I don't think it's gonna resonate with people or the situations you're going through.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
Exactly.
So, and about godlike, there's another point that I want to make, is that I feel like people are taking that track and basing who I am as an artist just strictly off of that one track. But if you go to my playlist and you see other songs like My Light Is All the Way Up, which is a Christian rap track, you know, things like Rise from the NFG mixtape, where I basically, you know, try to unite people and cause the Reactiverse to rise up.
Devil taking L's.
There's other positive tracks that I've made that people like. So you can't take Godlike, which is something that I was just rapping to get off my chest at the time. You know, just some frustrations I was going through. You know, and, you know, you can't just take several bars like that and say, well, this is who you are as an artist. No, fuck that. I'm not going to accept that, because I've done a lot of other positive tracks that nobody's mentioning.
I think because they're trying to, like, keep you in a box.
Oh, I know they are. Yeah, I know they are. Sorry, I was taking a drink. But I know they are. No, I'm drinking tea, by the way, just so everybody's clear. I'm not drinking alcohol.
Yeah, he's drinking tea.
Yeah, the only thing I do, like, I guess if you're gonna call it drug related, is weed, but that's it. Like nothing else. But but I just want to make it clear, Godlike was just a track that, one, I wanted to show people that I could, because before then, nobody knew that I could rap fast. Nobody knew that. So if I was going to put out a track entitled Godlike, you know, even though it was based on my faith, I wanted to show them, hey, I can do something extra with this track, which is why at the end I start spazzing, which is ironic because Crazy Gamer didn't play that part. He didn't play that part. He tried to diss my track, and he didn't even, like, play the good part. And I feel like that's kind of wrong to do, because you're not really showing, you're being kind of deceptive to your fans. You're not really showing them the true lyrical skill of the opponent that you're trying to go after. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to judge someone's track, even if you're falsely judging it, which is what he was doing, he was falsely judging it, you should be showing your audience the whole track and then give your thoughts and opinion. That's what a reaction is.
So, like, now my question on it is, do y'all think, like, because he said he wants to talk, like, do y'all think y'all ever, like, talk? And if y'all do talk, like, will it go from just about what recently happened to, like, now, like, putting that whole issue aside? Because he, in the interview, he goes from spazzing, saying he's playing chess with you, and ranting and talking about, like, your sabs being...
Did he tell you, hey, you know, like I said, I didn't watch the whole interview, I just watched enough. Did he tell you what my last message to him was in that Twitter discussion or PM? Did he tell you what the last final message was?
Nope.
Okay, well, let me expose it right now then. I'm going to read it word for word, okay?
Yep.
But just so you know, I don't want beef with you. If anything, I'd be willing to promote you. If you just drop all this ridiculous shit, because this whole thing is unnecessary, bruh. End quote.
Yeah, he didn't tell me none of that. He didn't tell me none of that.
Huh?
He didn't tell me none of that.
Yeah, like, the only negative thing that I said was that I know a lot of people in the Reactiverse, and if you don't stop, this could end up bad for you. I did tell him that, but I ended the message with the last one that I read, that I was willing to, you know, come to common ground and maybe even promote him. You know what I mean? If he would just drop all this bullshit. But then he dropped that one track, so that told me that not only was he not going to drop this, and not only did he want my, you know, I guess my extended olive branch of reconciliation and friendship, but he just wanted to do this for fucking, you know, publicity. I don't know, man. Like, the thing is, even when I try to do the right thing, on YouTube, people are always going to try to twist shit around and try to make it seem like I'm a villain, you know? And I don't think it's right. I think if you're gonna try to, like, you know, try to put dirt on my name, which he claims I put dirt on his name, which I don't think is true either because I didn't even know of him. But he obviously knew of me, obviously. So if you're going to try to put dirt on my name, at least try to get to know me before you do, bruh.
I think the most you said was that he's doing this shit for attention.
Wait, what?
I said I think the most you said was like he's doing this for attention.
I mean, if he said that, then he basically admitted what I've been saying about him all along is that he's only trying to do this to try to get me angry and try to get me to give him exposure, you know, on my channel. And I'm not going to do that, you know?
Yeah, because I was asking him, like, outside the interview thing, I was asking him, what did he mean by he's playing chess? And he was saying, I'm playing chess. And I've said this in my live stream earlier. I've said this in the interview. This would be my last time saying this. I'm like...
Then I just hit checkmate. Because I basically just, you know, in this interview, I basically just exposed, you know, that I'm not the villain here. And that I've actually tried to, you know, make amends. And if everybody wants, I'll even send my last message to him as a screenshot on my Twitter. Like I'll share that on my Twitter so everybody knows, like, you know, that was my last message and that I did try to, you know, bury the hatchet with him. So
I mean, you could, but you don't have nothing to prove, to be honest.
I know I don't, but I know I don't. Like, because the thing is this whole thing was fucking ridiculous, bro. Like, it shouldn't even have gone this far. If he really had a legit issue with me for whatever reason, he should have just talked to me in the fucking messages and worked shit out. Continue, you know, chatting, and maybe we could bury the hatchet. But he decided, nah, I'm not gonna talk things out with Demon. I'm just gonna drop a diss track on him and try to get him to get mad and try to get him to give me attention. You know? So, you know, he's through his own through his own actions he's exposed himself, bruh. So, you know, it is what it is. But crazy, look, I wish you all the best in your YouTube career, man. Like, seriously, I hope you're able to get things accomplished. I really hope that you can escalate up the ladder like I did and like is doing and like everybody else is. And if you want to stop being immature, bruh, and just hit me up and, you know, just talk things out, I'm here, bruh. Like, I'm not going nowhere.
Bet. About to start some... Yo, RC, you got more muscles than me. Diss track. Now, let me stop. I ain't doing that. I ain't... Nah, shout out to RC Reacts, though, man. He's a cool dude.
Yeah, RC Reacts is another dude that really grinds. In fact, in my absence of YouTube, he's been really holding down the Saz Clan. So if anybody's going to be the Saz Clan leader at the moment, it's going to be Rashad, because he's been holding it down with them live streams, bruh. So if anybody's a leader at the moment, it's him.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, hey, like, honestly, bruh, like, I don't want to take too much more of your time. I just wanted to come in, voice my opinion, and let you know where my spirit was coming from, you know, and clear the air on some things.
Word.
You know, I want to thank you for giving me this chance to really, you know, clear the air. I appreciate it, man, for real.
Appreciate you being up here, man.
Yeah. So hey, and like I said, fam, we're gonna get it popping with that YouTube X. That's gonna bring a revolution, fam.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. YouTube X, for anybody that's new to the idea, YouTube X is basically where it's at the start of it, it's podcasting. Like, if you want to get away from like the drama tube or the stuff that doesn't really like fit with positive vibes or nothing, you could just go to like the podcast, like YouTube X, we talk about these different things. We discuss what can we do to improve these different things instead of just like talking about, oh, this YouTuber is fake this, or that YouTuber always beefing with that person. Like, we could just do something about it.
Yeah, like we just YouTube X will really bring a change and a different perspective toward the fan base, and let you guys know how YouTubers like me and his, we want to bring a different perspective as far as the YouTube issues and the guidelines and music and shit. Like, not everything has to be negative, and YouTube X will show that.
Definitely.
So, all right, man. Well, look, man, you got any other questions before we wrap this up, or what?
Nah, but I just want to say to all y'all demon killing sons of bitches out there, y'all subscribe, okay? Because
subscribe to. By the way, like, honestly, y'all, like, to all my fans, like, for real, like, is definitely one of my biggest homies, like, on YouTube. Like, I support the dude. I've supported him, like, ever since I found out about him. Like, he's been dope. You know what I really love, bro? I love your comedy skits, bro, with your puppets. I love that shit, fam. Like, with Sonic and shit, like, huh?
I said, hey.
Yeah. Hey, you know what you should do, though? I want to say this publicly, bro, to try to push you to do it. Hey, you need to, that movie roast that you did, fam?
Yeah.
You need to do a fucking movie roast on Lord of the Rings, fam. I know you will slay that, like, for real.
That, to be honest, that was going to be my kickoff for 2018.
Oh, word? Oh,
yeah.
Man,
soon as it hits January 1st, Lord of the Rings.
I can't wait for you to get on Smeagol's ass, man. Alright. Well, anyway, bro, look, it is definitely getting late. We should wrap this up, but, yeah.
Yeah, man.
I think I pretty much... If the fans or anybody have any questions for me, you can always hit me up on my Twitter, DemonkillerScorp. So just look me up, you'll find me. And I'll answer any questions, man.
Yeah, y'all need to follow. Y'all need to follow him.
Yo, for real, I appreciate it, man. And I promise when I come back, I've made the decision. I am coming back to YouTube. I don't know for sure if I'm going to be, like, deep in the reactor community as I once was, because I don't want any more problems anymore. But I'm definitely coming back to YouTube. I just got to figure these road bumps out, that's all.
Yeah, definitely. And y'all subscribe to DemonkillerScorp also, man, because he's not just a dope YouTuber, like, he's dope outside of YouTube as well. Like, cool person, got great vibes. Also, man, leave a like if y'all want me to go Rob RC Reacts for his steroids. Comment below. Comment below what you want me to, who you want me to interview next, what you thought about this. And share this.
If you want, just like I did with YouTube X, I'll hit up some of my YouTube friends, see if I can get you some interviews too, bro.
No doubt. I appreciate that.
No problem, bro.
Share this with all the grandmas in the world. Nah, don't share this with my grandma. She'll whoop my ass for me cursing. All right, y'all. I'm out this shit, man.